So this is a story of how this business owner lost 9 months of progress on their fundraising efforts because of this one problem. And it's a problem that I think most leaders don't think they have, but you do have it. And at the end of this video, I'm hoping to show you why that's such a big problem and how I think you can tackle it. So here's what went down. It was about 5:30 p.m., close to 6. I'm on my least favorite stretch, right? Driving home. I just had an amazing client meeting. It was, very promising. It was an immediate fit. You hardly get those, but clients is like, you're the guy. I'm like, we're the guy. Everything is fantastic. But in the same building complex I'm just leaving, there was another client that I think I should have checked up on. Potential clients, the conversation went a bit cold, but I knew they had potential. And the drive from my home office to, that location wasn't necessarily like the easiest. I don't enjoy it. So I'm like, I didn't maximize this effort. Right before I could even complete that thought, my phone rings. I pick up. Hello, it's Mr. A from company B, the company I thought I should have gone to check up on. What are the odds? These guys are calling me right when I just thought about them. Hey, what's up? What do you need? He's like, oh, my CEO asked me to reach out to you. We want to pick this project back up. We need a website. I'm like, fantastic. I just left your office complex. Unfortunately, I was busy, so I couldn't pass by. So I was excited at this point. I drove home. It's the next day. I met with my ops lead. We put together a proposal. They created a WhatsApp group. We sent it. First feedback immediately. This is too expensive. I'm like, okay, that's normal. We tend to get that response mostly when we send proposals. What concessions are you willing to make? They give me their feedback. We put together a new proposal. All right, this looks okay. Still a bit on the high side, but it looks okay. We're gonna discuss this with the rest of the team, and then we'll get back to you. 9 months later. My WhatsApp, buzzes again, and I was like, okay, who's this person this time? I don't know who they was, but they told me, hey, I'm person A from company B. I'm like, oh, the same company B that I spoke to 9 months ago. It's like, yeah, I want to ask you some questions about this particular project. And I was like, why are we still having the same conversation 9 months after we spoke for the first time? See, because within that same 9 months period, we've helped at least 3 businesses solve the exact same problem. They were in very important situations where they needed to improve their online presence, properly represent their reputation and the work that they can do in the depth of their expertise, and we deliver those projects. And here was the issue. There was a lack of alignment between the CEO and the rest of their team. You see, when people or leaders in particular are trying to get something done, they have a vision in their head of what they actually want to do. The problem is the rest of the team don't understand that vision and are not singing from the same song sheets. And oftentimes companies are set up in a way that people are optimizing for the wrong KPIs. So imagine this. Imagine there's an orchestra, right? This orchestra is made up of some of the best talent in the world. 150 of some of the best pianists, violinists, trumpeters, whatever. And they have a great conductor, right? And, the auditorium is packed. This conductor is like ready, go. And as soon as, he gives the signal, every single person started playing their own tune. What do you think is going to happen? Absolute chaos, right? And it's not because the team isn't good. It's not because they didn't have the best instruments. It's not because they didn't have the best conductor. It's because they don't have alignment on what the vision of the composer is. So many modern day companies right now, in the way they are structured, especially even if it's more than one person, medium to large size, they suffer from a lack of alignment, and it's so bad because the CEO has a vision of what they need to do, right? Then they tell the marketing manager, but the marketing manager does not understand that vision. So there's some kind of confusion already in the chain. Then they now outsource the entire financial part of the process to the procurement manager. Now, the procurement manager doesn't understand the vision of the marketing manager, neither does he understand the vision of the CEO. So they don't have a sense of what resources are needed to be able to execute. All they care about is beat the price down. So what ends up happening? You have this procurement person who is just optimizing for his KPI, which is how much money can you save us? And at the end of the day, either makes it really difficult for the executing team that they want to do the project because you don't have the right resources, or they pick the wrong person simply because they're cheaper. So what then happens? The vision that this CEO has, the vision that this MD, this leader, this founder has, never gets executed because the rest of the team, like that orchestra, do not have a score sheet. They are not aligned. They don't know what needs to be done. They don't know the importance of how to actually approach it. And this is costing you money. It's costing you time. It's costing you progress. And it's not a mere issue of like, oh, it's just a one-time thing. No, like it's a culture that a lot of organizations have, which I'm like, bro, like, how do you get your team on the same page? So let's go back to that orchestra metaphor, right? For the orchestra to play successfully, a few things has to be true. One, they need a composition, right? The orchestra need a vision of what they need to sound like at the end of the day, right? And this is going to come from the composer and the conductor. They need to go like, this is what we want the orchestra to play. This is a feeling. This is an outcome where you're trying to get to. And then they need to document that on a score sheet. And this score sheet is what details out every single part. What the horns are playing, what the drums are playing, what the keys are playing, what the trumpets are playing, how they should play it, what notes they should play when, how many parts, how is the entire thing structured, right? So you need that vision, you need the documentation of that vision in the scorecard, and then you need to practice. Because see, even if you have the best team in the world that are individually good at the things that they need to do, without proper rehearsal on how they need to collaborate and work together with other parts to create a symphony, you're still going to have subpar results, right? That's why, like, sometimes when people hear the quote, oh, hire the best people and get out of their way, like, I'm like, people assume it's just hire the best people and just like moot. No, like, you need alignment. You need to hire the best people, tell them what you're trying to achieve, and then get out of their way, right? The get out of their way part is meant for people who like to meddle with the technical details, right? If you're the conductor, you're not the best trumpeter, so don't try to teach the trumpeter how to play their trumpet. Tell them what feeling you're trying to create. Tell them how loud or how soft you want them to play, but don't get into details. Don't get into the technical details. That's what's meant by that quote of hire great people and get out of their way. But there's a key piece that's often missing, which is give them the vision of what you're trying to achieve before you get out of their way. If you just hire somebody without any vision and then you get out of their way, you don't get any results. And I think that's what's happening with so many companies and so many teams. That's why they invest a lot of money on projects and they get nothing, right? So you have the vision, which is your composition. You have the score sheet, which is your strategy, the plan that everybody needs to follow. Then you need to rehearse. This is why you need feedback loops as a leader, as the manager, as a project lead. This is why you need to do things, or rather have people do things, observe them and tell them, hey, I don't think that went quite well. I think you should, tweak this a little. I think you should tweak that a little. I think your response time was too slow. I think, as a philosophy, we need to go this way instead of that way. That consistent feedback loop is the thing that will actually help your team work together towards the strategy and the vision that you've given them, right? And I've always said that you, as a leader, you have three roles. You need to set a vision, you need to communicate that vision, and then you need to enable your team to execute that vision, right? That's what getting out of the way looks like. It's not just hiring people and then like just letting them do whatever they want. So I feel like a lot of businesses, yours included, or maybe even if your team is not being as effective as it could be, it's not delivering the results you want because you are not communicating, you are not creating alignment. So it's 9 months on and this business has lost all the progress it could have made in 9 months. So it's been 9 months on and this business has failed to make significant progress on that particular aspect of the goal. Now, I don't have all the facts, so the chances that they made goals and they made progress in other areas is possibly high. But on that specific goal that they approached me for, not because we couldn't do the job, not because they didn't need it, not because they probably didn't even have the resources. They more than have the resources to be able to pull it off, but because it's a lack of alignment, right, between the person who's the vision bearer and the rest of their team. So if you're a leader watching this video, I plead of you, you need to create alignment first with your leadership team, and then your leadership team has the responsibility to create the alignment with the rest of the technical team. If you don't have a large team, then it's your job to create alignment with every single person. But that alignment is telling them where you're trying to go, why it matters, right? And how important it is that you get there. That's it. You don't necessarily have to worry about the how. That's how you hire them. The how of, achieving those results. That's what the technical people are there for. That's what your product managers, your team leads, your designers, your developers, your heads of research, like that's what they are there for. But the what, the importance, and the where, like that's all you. Like you have to make sure you communicate that. So if you don't have alignment, you need to get, and here's the exercise. Here's a simple exercise you can do. Walk up to any member of your team, especially your leadership team, and ask them, hey, what do you think our vision is as a company? Like, where are we trying to go? What are we trying to achieve? What change are we trying to create in the world? And who are we doing it for? And watch what they say. If every single person on your team tells you something that is very close to your original vision and very close to what the other person says, then you've done a great job with alignment. But chances are you're probably going to hear very different opinions and understanding. And that's why you need to make some time to create some alignment. Now, it's okay if you feel like you can't do that yourself, because again, I think it takes a certain level of understanding. So that's why you need to upskill, or you can hire a team. We do workshops, and a big part of why we do workshops is to create alignments for clients. They are like C-level execs. They want to build a project. Everybody's on different pages. How do you actually get alignment? It's a 2-day workshop where we work through everything. So when you leave that room, when you end that workshop, every single person is on the same page about what needs to be done. So upskill, learn how to do it, which works if you have a lot of time. If you don't have a time, find a team. It could be us, could be anybody else. Find somebody to help you create that alignment. And I think it's going to go a long way to help your business, because hey, it's still 2025. We're still in February. Q1 is not over. You can still win if you just make some few changes. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you recently had a situation where you feel like a lack of alignment has cost you some progress? If so, let me know. And until I see you in the next video, cheers.